Kia ora koutou, Markie here. So I got some sad news. It's not really news. It's quite old. It's a year old almost exactly. But I've only discovered it today, and this relates to a academic called Gary Wilson, whose work has had a big influence on mine, and I'm always telling people about some of his findings because they're extremely important. So I've been shouting them from the rooftops as much as I can. So I've done videos on Gary Wilson's work before, or based on Gary Wilson's work. But this is just a RIP really. So he died in May last year. I don't know what he died of. I think he had some kind of long-standing health condition. And I discovered it from a video. I was Googling, I quite often look up his video to send the link to people. And I was doing that today, and I came across an RIP video. And this was from somebody who was personally benefited from Gary's work, as many people have. So I will put a link to that video, that little tribute video, in the description. Don't worry if it's not there straight away. Sometimes it takes me a while to do these things. So why is Gary Wilson important? You probably never heard of him unless you've been the recipient of the beneficiary of some of his work, or if you're working in a professional field that's aligned with his. So he did lots of research onto the effects of pornography, and what he was looking at is high-speed pornography, internet pornography essentially. And he made some pretty terrifying discoveries, and nobody else is talking about this stuff. And apparently he got quite a lot of flack for his views and for his work, which I think is really sad. So in a nutshell, because I'm going to keep this as a fairly short video, and I can link to some other videos where I've talked about this a bit more, and I can link to his videos, and I can link to this tribute video. But he discovered that significant use of internet porn has a number of effects, including, and this is mainly around guys. Women do have problems with porn and can be addicted to porn, but the research is mainly around guys, is that they lose the ability to perform sexually with a partner if they use an excessive amount of porn, and become receive generally less pleasure from most of the things in life that give us pleasure. The simple things like good food, or going for a walk, or time with friends. The amount of pleasure from all of those things actually diminishes, and that people become addicted to porn. Now, sex addiction is something that's out of fashion at the moment. And Gary was a defender of the reality of sex addiction, as am I. If you're in the psychological field, you'll know that it's sex addiction is not something that's listed in the diagnostic manuals. They talk about hypersexuality and things like that, which I think is a nonsense. I think sex addiction is a very real thing. Among other things, it's something that I help people with in my work. So he was a strong advocate for that. His presentations were funny as well, and understandable and accessible. So what I've got on the screen here with the shaky camera, a trademark shaky camera from this channel, that's just the front page of one of his talks, The Great Porn Experiment, and you'll find that on YouTube. There's that the Great Porn Experiment is great because it kind of gives everything in a nutshell, but I actually prefer his longer video that he's done, where he goes into, I think it's about 2 hours, and he goes into the research, and he goes into a lot more stuff about sex addiction and that kind of thing. So if you take nothing else from this, please tell every man that you know of the risks that pornography use can have, because it devastates people, kills relationships, causes all kinds of problems, And that's just there's all kinds of other issues with porn, and I've talked about those in some other videos, but I'm kind of keeping it more to the areas that Gary Wilson looked into. I'm not sure how old he was. I'm assuming he was probably quite young, too young, you know. So it is really sad. So it is a loss to the world. I wish the world had treated him a little bit more kindly, and you know, please take heed of his message, because it's really important. And you know, tell particularly young men, you know, if you know of any young men, tell them about this stuff, because it's important. You know, it will save them a whole world of pain. So on that note, thank you for watching, and I will be back soon with something completely different. In the meantime, you know, to pay respect to Gary's family, and personally I'm very grateful to him for you know, the influence that he's had on my work, and he has helped an awful lot of people. So thank you very much, Gary. We'll catch you soon. Rangimarie.